So good morning. So the first thing we're going to show you is just this case that I bought from off Amazon. So it's an iPad Pro 11 keyboard and case. It cost me 64 New Zealand dollars to get it landed. So it's at the cheaper end of the spectrum, but it's been pretty good. I've used it for a couple of weeks now, and so while it's not perhaps sort of ideal, it works great on a desk. So just like the iPad itself, that has a magnetic part at the top, this particular case supports that as well, and so the pencil sits quite happily in that space at the top, and we just continue to sort of unfold it. So it's a removable keyboard. It's got a magnetic sort of back on it, so you can actually take the whole thing off. There are 3 grooves here, here and here for putting the iPad screen at the angle that you want, and then you're away. So there's a space at the bottom here for you to put the Apple Pencil in if you want. I haven't found that to be sort of all that practical, to be honest, because with my fat fingers, by the time I sort of put it in there, it took me ages to get it back out. But I found just putting it at the top and closing the case is just sort of perfect. So that keyboard actually works really, really well, to be fair, on a desk. It doesn't work well on your lap. So I do use it on my lap at the moment because I don't have another keyboard to sort of test, but that's going to change pretty shortly. But as far as a keyboard and a useful keyboard is concerned, this little system has been great. So it'll be perfect for kids at school, or if you're working at a desk. See, nothing sort of wrong with it as well. The case itself is really, really sturdy rather, and the keyboard, yeah, pretty much a full sort of functioning keyboard. So yeah, I like this keyboard, and the case works really, really well. If you throw the keyboard away, it works just fine as a case anyway, and it'll sort of fold up just the same way as any other sort of case does. So that's a useful keyboard and pretty cheap. One of the other things that I have in my first sort of purchases was this little gadget. So it's a USB hub, a USB-C hub, and what it has is just a bunch of ports. So as well as having USB-C down here, which is just a pass-through USB-C, so when it plugs in, it just basically passes power through, or will power up presumably another USB, no it won't. Headphone jack, SD and micro SD slots, USB 3, and then I've actually got this upside down. If I look at the other end, there's a 4K HDMI connector, and so what this gives me is the ports that I use fairly regularly, and most things. Let's just plug straight in there, and you should see the blue light has come on at the top, showing the sort of power getting through from the device. So that plugs in perfectly into this particular case. If you don't have a case which sort of snugly fits, this gadget came with a little spacer. So if you have something like an Apple keyboard, which doesn't have anything down the side of the screen, then you can use the spacer to make sure that the USB-C hub doesn't sort of wobble around a little bit. So there's a nice little sort of thing. So this is really, really useful. It means that I can plug in a USB hard drive, thumb drives, that kind of thing, for transferring data. What I really would like, to be honest, is another USB-C port. So as well as power going in, I have a USB-C pass-through so that I could plug in my external terabyte sort of hard drive at the same time. But at the moment, it doesn't have that sort of functionality in this model anyway, so I might look for another one a little bit later. But at the moment, this works really, really well for me, so I can transfer files quite happily around using USB-C. So they're the 2 gadgets that I've had so far. This thing, by the way, cost me $97 New Zealand landed, again from Amazon, and I'll put the brand name in the notes that are accompanying this video, so on my blog. Hope you find this useful.